Hello, MBA distance mode, context session, second, managerial economics. If you have observed that in our context session first, we have already discussed about first two units of managerial economics. Through this context session 2, we are going to discuss the remaining two topics from managerial economics, which are very easy. Just need to remember all the terminologies, and you have to be prepared with having your own short notes for remembering all the terminologies. Because if you see the remaining two chapters, two units from managerial economics, that is unit number 3 and 4, you will find that the concepts are very much similar to each other, having a little difference, having a little difference among each other. So you just have to keep your focus on these terminologies which are little bit different than others. So I advise to all of you that if for the studying remaining two units of this managerial economics, as usual, you have to thoroughly read your self-learning material. First step. Second step, you have to note down important concept or terminologies on paper. And third, you have to also note down these points, how to remember that terminologies, because already we have discussed in management concept almost 99.99% terminologies, concepts, topic titles are self-explanatory in nature. So you need not to remember too much concepts and terminologies, but you have to remember their names, need not to remember their meanings because meaning has been showed themselves. Okay, so without spending much more time, let us start our today's contact session, in which we are going to cover unit number 3, market structure and pricing methods. In this unit number 3, as I told earlier during our contact session first, that you have to be ready with a notebook, no- notebook or any paper to note down important points discussed during lectures. As I told recently, that 3 to 4 stages you have to follow honestly, so that the study of managerial economics will get fulfilled by yourself being ready to your university examinations. So, unit number 3, market structure and pricing methods. Through this unit number 3, we are going to study market structure and different pricing methods. So you observe in your self-learning material, try to keep open in front of you so that simultaneously you can observe these terminologies in your book. So first thing is index, then objectives, try to read out these objectives, subject matter, then concept of perfect competition. What is meant by perfect competition? What are the factors affecting it? What is meant by monopoly? How monopolistic competition took place? Oligopoly market means what? Then summary of this chapter, glossary, then answer are given, exercise and references for further study. These are the structure that covered in your self-learning material. Also, in our last unit, unit number 4, we are going to review about pricing methods and which are the another investment analysis, objective introduction, presentation of subject matter, factors affecting pricing of products and services. Full cost pricing means what? Multi-product pricing methods, price discrimination, dumping price policy, peak load pricing method, capital budgeting method, significance and limitations. Also, in after end of the chapter, also there is a summary, glossary, answers, exercise, and references for further study. You all are well familiar with all these type of structures of your self-learning material. So there is just need to go one by one to all these terminologies, points, and sub aspects of your unit number 3 and 4. So, which thing I have advised to all of you? First of all, try to read thoroughly these 2 units. Once you thoroughly and fully having fully concentration during reading, if you read these 2 units, definitely you will find yourself in a very good position of understanding level that almost 70% understanding you will get just by reading itself, because we use very simple language for preparing the self learning material. Also, also we have used a little examples to more understanding of students the related relevant concept. So, first of all, hope that you have already read all the units thoroughly, properly before attending this contact session. After the completion of that, you have to note down some terminologies which you found are important or need to take into consideration in the exam point of view. Then, how to decide those? It can be decided with the help of topics given in your index, topics given as per the syllabus, and question that are mentioned at the end of your each unit mentioned in self-learning material. Only short answer questions, long answer questions are applicable to you as far as university examination is concerned. Because in university examination, we are not going to deal with objectives or multiple choice questions. No, as per the revised paper pattern, in previous session, we have discussed about that question paper pattern about paper one principles of management. In that contestation, the same paper pattern is applicable to here on. So by looking towards that paper pattern, there is a zero scope or null scope, or there is no scope for multiple choice questions. Only short answer and long answer questions, especially long answer type questions will be asked in your university examination. So without spending much more time, let us have a quick review of your these 2 units. This is our unit 3 market structure and pricing method. Hope all of you have opened your self learning material in front of you. These are the objectives. Define perfect competition, describe its feature. All you have to take it into consideration. Just we are going to take review of all the important terminologies and points. Then, as per the title of our unit, first term is a market structure. What is meant by market structure? By looking toward our previous statement that these terminologies are self-explanatory. Then word, what is word? Word is market structure. It consists of two sub, what we can say, concepts or two words. Which are those? Market and structure. What is meant by market and what is meant by structure? The structure of market or how that market exists, what is the feature of market, what is the form of existence of that market. Generally we can consider it as a market structure. So consider the highlighted part as that the term market structure refers to the organizational features of an industry that influence the firm's behavior in its choice of price and output. In simple words, that distribute this definition into small parts. The term market structure refers. The term market structure refers to the organizational features of an industry. Industry's features, which are those organizational features that influence the firm's behavior. That industry's behavior in the market, such type of features which influence in a market regarding price and output, price of product and output of industry. These can be termed as a market structure. Go through thoroughly it, you will definitely come to realize what is exactly meant by the market structure. Hope you understood by this single sentence that what is exactly meant by the market structure. Later, there were given some basic concepts regarding plant. Plant is a technical unit of production. The location where you have to produce something can be treated as a plant. Firm is a unit of organization involving decision making regarding production activity. Plant and firm, what is difference? Plant is the exact location where actual production took place, a technical term plant. But is if you consider the firm, firm is a unit of organization involving decision making regarding production activity. So in firm, there took place or there is a taking place the decision about what to produce, and a plant is a place where actually produce the product or production process took place. Industry, industry group of firm in a region engaged in the same production activity. What is meant by industry? A group of firms in a region, particular region or a location, having same production activity. So, what is the difference between firm and industry? Firm is a single entity, and combination of all the firms in a specific region becomes industry for a same production activity. Then market. The term market represents mechanism of exchange of product, which may be homogeneous or differentiated. Industry, we have produced a product at plant. We have taken decision regarding what to produce in a firm. Combination of or group of firms in a specific region called industry, and that industry produces products to exchange it in a market. Generated today, exchanged in a place, exchanged at a place in between consumers and buyers. Here, buyer is industry. Seller is industry, and buyer is a customer. So to create such type of transaction in between both, the location is called as a market. Then type of market structure. Which are those type of market structure? Perfect competition, imperfect competition. Under imperfect competition, there is a monopolistic competition, oligopoly, duopoly, and next third is a monopoly. Which are those? The market. Again, moving towards the basic concept, that is a market. Market was a public place in a town where provision of other objects were exposed for sale. What exactly mean by the market? Market, it is just a place where exchange of good took place. In other words, or object here means produced goods or product of industry were exposed for sale, were kept before the customers for selling purpose. That place is generally treated as market. Then classification of market, size classification based on the size of area, on the basis of a time, on the basis of nature of competition, etc. based upon which classification of market took place. You have to go thoroughly, just reading, having fully concentration. These concepts are very easy, and such topics will definitely give you good marks in your university examination. Then perfect competition means what? The perfect competition, competitive market is that type of market in which the number of buyers and sellers is very large. Number of buyers and sellers are very large. There is a product, XYZ products are there. There are also number of sellers. There are also number of buyers. Both are the large in a quantity. Number of buyers and number of sellers. Both are very large in number. Having their engagement in which activities in buying and selling the products. Okay, perfect competition. These are the terminologies and definition of perfect competition given by other experts, other authors, other philosophers given here for your reference. Here are the features of a perfect competition. Remember once again, you have to read thoroughly all these concepts or terminologies properly so that you will get familiar to all the terminologies which are very much essential in clearing the concepts in managerial economics. Here, consider this chart, price determination under perfect competition. Under this short run and long run, we have already discussed what is meant by short run, what is meant by long run in your first unit of discussion. So you have to revise this terminology and such type of basic concept. You have to just write it on your notebook or your pen paper so that before examination you can revise all these terminologies once again without spending much more time in searching such concepts in books or in other self-learning materials. You will get ready-made content for revision purpose through your handwritten notes. You have to just mention their important terminologies and their basic and meaning that you understood by your study. So under short run price, equilibrium of firm, equilibrium of industry, long run price, equilibrium of firm, equilibrium of industry. Why these two are categorized? Short run price having equilibrium position for firm is separate and industry is separate, because recently we have seen firm. Firm is a place where decision about the production took place, and industry is nothing but a group of such firms. So, if we consider firm as a single entity, a multiple entities can be considered in a industry. So, short run price and its price determination and its mechanism will be different for equilibrium of firm and different for equilibrium of industry, because for firm we are going to consider a single entity and for industry we are going to consider a group of entities. Similarly, in long run price we will observe the equilibrium of firm and equilibrium of industry. Here this part is very much similar to each other, but what is difference? Difference is short run price and long run price. Under the heading of these two, we have to study equilibrium positions for firm and industry. These are very interesting, and you will need a special concentration to have understanding in this matter. Equilibrium of a firm. What exactly mean by equilibrium of firm? According to the traditional theory of firm, the firm is in equilibrium when its profit is maximum. Equilibrium means profit maximized condition. The condition where profit of that firm is maximum. So, according to the traditional theory of firm, firm is equilibrium. Firm is in equilibrium position. When it will be equilibrium position, when that firm's profit is maximum. that time span or that position of that organization where its profit is maximum, that time span or that period generally treated as the equilibrium of a firm. So, by considering that condition or that situation of that industry or a firm, the analysis has been done such that short run price equilibrium of firm, short run price equilibrium of industry, long run under the heading of long run, again equilibrium firm and equilibrium of industry. So, why to learn this all this concept? It is very important to understand it's a basic requirement that how your organization will behave under different pricing structures at equilibrium. That same case also will happen for firm and that same case will also happen in case of industry. So to check behavior of a firm as well as industry in different pricing status with a short run and a long run, to understand the basic behavior of your industry or firm with reference to the selected pricing method, to take what is important in economics or instead of economics you can say for whole management conceptualities, the decision making, to take the decision. Ultimately we have which thing we have to do, we have to think, take the decisions, proper, perfect and time bounded decisions. So, after thoroughly studying these terminologies or behavior of your industrial firm under different price modules, different price structures, you will able to familiar with its behavior. And once you understood how your industry or firm reacts with change in a situation in the market, it will be definitely helpful to you as a manager to take a proper decision. Once you taken a proper decision, it will be definitely will helpful to you to increase your profit. So your profit maximization stage will be continued for longer time. Hence, your institution or your organization or your firm or your industry will remain in equilibrium for longer time. It will be beneficial to your organization and hence to you also. So these are the equilibrium of a firm. These are the some graphical representations. Equilibrium firm with excess profit. X axis shows the output of your firm. Y axis shows cost, revenue, price. That EMC shows the marginal costing. AC shows average costing. These are the some graphs. For that purpose, prior to that, let us have a glance. These are the another graph. Equilibrium firm with the normal profit. This is another graph, equilibrium firm with losses. This is equilibrium of the industry. This is long run equilibrium of a firm. This is equilibrium of industry with change in demand. This is industry equilibrium with change in supply. So, what do you think that are these all equilibrium positions are same? No, not at all. Each and every equilibrium situation is different than each other. Then, how to remember all this togetherly? So, for that purpose, you have to write on a big paper or at a separate page of your notebook, column wise. You have to prepare. Suppose there are five types of charts that mentioned in this our syllabus. Suppose you have to study five equilibrium conditions under different condition, equilibrium of organization under different condition, or under excess profit, under loss, having highest demand, having supply side considerations. For that purpose, you have to give title to all column, and below that you have to write down or draw such type of graph. So write or place all the graphical representation on a single page with their bifurcated or separated by their titles. It will helpful to you to identify the difference between every graph that given in your self-learning material. You find that these are very complicated to remember, very difficult to understand. No, not at all. Once you thoroughly read all the concepts, you will able to bifurcate in between graphs. Even though if you could not able to bifurcate or differentiate between all these graphical representations, you must have to mention clear cut on a single paper different situations, and after that you have to draw these graphs below that situation. So at a single glance you will observe all the graphs at a time, so that by looking towards that graph's title you will be able to definitely will be able to bifurcate among different types of graph. So after completion of our context session, while studying this unit number 3, you have to do another task, that you have to draw all these equilibrium positions, all these graphs on a single paper with their titles, and you have to just give description of that graph. It will be completed your, it will be complete your answer if asked in your question paper. For example, suppose industry equilibrium with change in supply. Suppose there is a question asked in examination regarding explain the industry equilibrium situation with the change in supply. So you will be fall in confusion that which graph is for that industry equilibrium, which graph should I draw for change in supply. For that purpose, you have to draw all these graphs which such type of titles, such type of titles on a single page. It will be helpful to you to understand for which title or which situation which graph is important or which graph represents which situation. To be able to understand, you have to place it on a single paper, so that it will clear, it gives you idea about which situation is represented by which graph. So suppose exam is in examination, suppose question is asked regarding explain the industry equilibrium situation with the change in supply. Change in supply. So for that purpose, you have to draw this graph, and just you have to give description of this graph. If you observe the description that given in your self-learning material, the same description you can able to write in your examination, that on x-axis it shows the output, that is demand and supply. Then y-axis it shows the price. P1, P2, P3 are represented for E3, E1, E2 respectively. D are the demand curves, D1, D2, D3. Yes, S1 is industry supply curve. All these terminologies, once you understood, you can write it in your own word during examination. So you just need to remembering this type of figures or graphical representations for various situations. So apart from that, no need to remember any other things from this unit number 3. So let us move towards next session of this unit number 3, that is monopoly. Monopoly means what? Where there is only one firm to sell the products. That means market situation where there is only one firm which controls the whole supply of a product is called a monopoly. Hope you understood all these terminologies. Monopoly defined, definition of monopoly. These all are theoretical concepts. Need to understand after only thoroughly reading all this. The demand curve under monopoly. You have to write it down on your notebook or on your page or in your notes in your own hand. Unless and until you will not do this, you will get confused by which graph is utilized or used for which title. That means during confusion, you can draw this demand curve under monopoly for demand curve under oligopoly or perfect competition. There might be chances of such type of confusion during writing the answer in your question examination in your during examinations. So to avoid this, you have to write it in your own hand. So through this context session, we are just giving the guidelines regarding how to study and what to study. Detailed study, as I told earlier during our induction and orientation programs, that you are since you are a distance learner, we have provided all the study material. Efforts from your side demanded or considered in a higher percentage. Unless and until you will not do the study, and if you are thinking that all the things should be done by the university itself, it will not going to work properly. Unless and until you are not going to spend your time, you are not going to spend your uh, focus of mind, or you can say concentration. It will. It seems a little bit difficult. And another thing that consider that your examination will be start from 1st of March itself. Schedule has not declared yet, but there are chances to be starting your examination from 1st of the March. So be alert and be prepared with your studies by considering such type of little terminologies, having thorough understanding prior to that. So again here monopoly equilibrium, same conditions we have seen previously in market structures, equilibrium for long run and short run, same condition equilibrium for monopoly with excess profit. Same condition monopoly equilibrium with normal profit. Same here with losses. So these are the three cases. You can place it on a single paper and give titles to it excess profit, loss, normal profit. It will be definitely useful to bifurcate among the graphs so that your conceptual clarity will be get identified in a more broader manner and in a very effective and efficient manner. This is also equilibrium under price discrimination, equilibrium under price discrimination and all. What is meant by price discrimination? You will see later on. So why I am just scrolling all these pages and all, I just want to give guidelines regarding how to study and what to study and where you have to give your concentration or where you have to pay your focus of mind for thorough understanding and study purpose. Monopolistic competition, another new concept here. Monopolistic competition in market situation where there are many firms selling different products. We have seen monopoly as only a single product and a single seller, multiple buyers, monopoly. Here, monopolistic competition, there are few products and also sellers are few, but buyers are also large. Instead of single product, single seller, a multiple different products having multiple different sellers. That means monopoly, if you consider it as a single entity, combination of such single entities will convert into the monopolistic competition. It is very interesting and a very simple concept once you go through it after thoroughly reading. One might say that we are doing job, we don't get sufficient time. For that purpose, you are a management students. You are even though you are distance learner, you are a management students. You have to do your own strategy of study because uh, after you are taking after admission till today, almost 2.5 month or round figurely, if we try to speak out, you got a 3 months. From very first day of this 3 month, you have planned about your study and your future prospects about your MBA first semester. You might have systematically, sequentially, and thoroughly be completed all your studies. But what we think, let's do later on. I don't have time now. I will get sufficient time. I will complete it later on. Such type of your casual approach results in this day, that is 21st of February, and there is 1st of March. That date has arrived just on the verge of arriving within a 7 to 8 days. If we consider that 1st of March date has been finalized for your examination, so try to understand its severity, its seriousness, and you have to spend time for studying this concept. Otherwise, what will happen if you are not going to study thoroughly or properly? You will not get that much understanding level, and you will not get clear understanding of your concept or terminologies which we are going to discuss here through these context sessions. If you didn't understand such type of basic terminology, what you are going to write in your examination, it will reduce your confidence level, and hence it will might be results in failure remark for that examination. And if such type of questions examination happened or occurred, you will face a huge problems in your upcoming next year, because try to solve all the papers, try to clear all the papers in that semester only. Once the pending cases of your subjects which are not cleared by you goes on increasing, it will ultimately create a huge pressure on your mind, so that it will reduce your efficiency, it will reduce your confidence level. So try to understand this importance and severity of your examinations and do study very hard. Unless and until you are not you will not do so, it will lead you at a very complicated situation once your paper starts remaining back without clearing. It will give a very uh, very trouble like situation in your future, because since most of the students are working professionals having engaged in their jobs, in their engaged in their businesses, try to study from initial phase. It will lead in resulting your clearance of all the subjects semester wise. So what is the core of my discussion? The core thing of my discussion is just you have to spend a little time on a frequent basis to study all these conceptual things and all these theoretical paper. You need not to worry about its understanding purpose once you have thoroughly studied these concepts. So which things I have dictated here? You have to draw all these graphs on a single paper giving their title, so that you can bifurcate among them. And while answering the questions in your examination, you will exactly understood that for which question, which graph I have to draw. And once you understood that graph and its meaning, you can describe it in a very effective and efficient manner. So this will comprise your unit number 3. Different market structure are given, and under that different market structure, considering your industry's input and output, what are the representation of your demand and supply curves are the only important things in unit number 3. Nothing else. You have to just draw it on a single paper collectively and thoroughly understand their meaning in your own words, so that you can write it in your examination. Next is oligopoly market. Such type of market is a form of market structure where few sellers sell differentiated or homogeneous product. What we see in monopoly means a single product, single seller, multiple buyer. Here, what we see, the few sellers, instead of one seller, there are few sellers sell the same product. Is a oligopoly. Monopolistic competition in that we have seen multiple seller with multiple products and large number of buyers. Such type of difference you will be understood by thoroughly reading these topics with having full concentration. We have to write down this. What is mean by monopoly? In this monopoly, these are condition. What is mean by oligopoly? Oligopoly under which these are condition. What is monopolistic competition? In this these are the condition under which these are the graphs. Under this such type of situation occur. That's enough. No need to do additional and extra study for this unit. But for doing this activity or for doing such thing, you have to pay your attention, having great concentration. Again, let's move towards further. These all are the graphs having different structures of a market. That's why the title of your unit number 3 is market structure and pricing methods. There is a different market structure having different pricing methods. Okay, for that purpose, summary. Summary is very much important in this case. You have to thoroughly read this summary. What exactly in your syllabus, what exactly meant by which terminologies, what is the scope of your syllabus, what is the objectives of your own unit, and at last glossary. I need not to tell again and again these things. We are considering that you have studied all these things and conceptualities properly. Then unit number 4, pricing methods and investment analysis. What about unit number 3? I have suggested to do. You have to read thoroughly. You have to note down different conditions where for which graphs has been given, different market structures, oligopoly, monopoly, monopolistic competitions, their meanings, and and below that you have to state different situations where graph has given their identification, or for a different situation there is a representation of various types of graphs along with their description. Once the terminology is given in that graph you understood, it will be definitely gives it will be definitely give you the different types of conceptual clarities about what exactly mean by the pricing, and there will be various types of methods and different investment analysis. So it will give you the thorough knowledge about unit number 4 also regarding pricing methods and investment analysis. So, without spending much more time, what exactly is constituents in this unit number 4? Factors affecting pricing of product. Which are those factors that affects product and services of any organization? Maximizing profits, securing high market share, preventing competition, stabilization of pricing. All these things you have to thoroughly write. There is no any scope for you apart from reading and all. We can't do anything apart from this because all these are theoretical concept, and concept clearance of all the concepts, clearing the concept of all the things or a syllabus. Through this just a context, it is just an impossible things once unless and until you are not going to spend your concentration, your efforts towards understanding these terminologies. Here again, full cost pricing, multi-product pricing methods. Full cost pricing means what? It's a definition, their calculating points and all. Then pricing strategies. Which are those pricing strategies? Multiple product pricing, differential pricing, proportional pricing, product line pricing, psychological pricing. And you have to, while studying, Remember one thing, you have to correlate all this situation with real time examples. For that purpose, you must have enough awareness about what exactly going in a market, what exactly cases happened in the past. By correlating these things or any type of situation that you observe here and there in your everyone's life in day to day working, you will find different types of situation where such type of concepts can be correlated. If you remember, in our first unit, we have considered the example of Srikhand Manufacturing Organization. We have we had been correlate all the activities of that Srikhand Manufacturing industry or organization with all the terminologies in basic managerial economics during our first unit, that is introduction to economics. So such type of correlation you must be able to do so. Unless and until you will not do so, it will be difficult to understand such terminologies and concepts. Also, it will be helpful to you while writing the answers in a more systematic manner during your examination. So try to correlate these all terminologies with real-time examples. Again, there is a graph here also and multiple product pricing. So you have to remember, you have to revise your study pattern, your study methodology, so that how to remember all these graphs, how to uh, bifurcate all these graphs just on using titles of that graph, how to draw this graph and how to describe these graphs. You have to use your traditional study methodology that you are going to utilize since from childhood, since your first standard, second standard, SSC, HSC, your graduation till date. Your strategy of studying is different for different activities and different for different student. So use your strategy to remember all these terminologies that not necessary that which I told you previously about remembering the graphs along with their title. No need to use my strategy. Also use your strategy. But what is important? Important is keep just remembering all these cases, all these graphs thoroughly with their description so that you can write it properly in your examination. And apart from that, your understanding will be reached at the highest peak point. That is only our objective. Here, price discrimination. Price discrimination means what? The different prices for different categories, for different products, for different regions, types of price discriminations, first degree. These are very interesting terminologies. Go through it thoroughly. I insist personally to all. These are very much important terminologies that you experience in a day-to-day life. How for that purpose you have to go through it. Again, there is a graph, but how to remember this graph? Having conceptual clearance, it will be definitely will result in properly remembering these graphs. So, dumping price policy, what is meant by it? Several motives, their characteristics, their background information, their related graphs. Again, there is graph. So, if you might observe in unit number 3 and 4, there are number of graphs to be drawn. So there may be the confusing state of your mind that which graph is for which title. For that purpose, you have to redraw all these graphs systematically on a single plain paper on your or in your notebook if you have. So while studying this unit number 3 and 4, you have to just refer that notebook which you have prepared after thoroughly reading this self-learning material. And prior to examination, before going to examination, you have to revise using your that notebook or self-prepared notes only. It will give a more understanding to your concepts related to the managerial economics. It will give another concept that capital budgeting method significance limitations. Capital budgeting mean what? Why it is important? It's various types of definition. These are the theoretical concept. You have to be familiar being a management student. So thoroughly read all these terminologies and try to understand it. Say again, summary part of chapter number 4, glossary, and try to focus on instead of this true false and fill in the blanks or multiple choice question, short answer question and a long answer question. These two types of questions are very much important as far as your examination point of view is concerned. If possible, try to use these reference books. So it will give the basic conceptualities about managerial economics. In our first two lectures during context session number 1, we have spent much more time to be familiarized with the basic concepts in managerial economics. During that time span, we hope that you have gone through it thoroughly. You have read all the unit number 3 and 4 thoroughly, and I have to just give a directions or a guidelines regarding how to study the unit number 3 and 4, in which strategy and which strategy to be utilized while studying this unit number 3 and 4 of managerial economics. Hope all of you understood this session or ways which I have dictated regarding how to study unit number 3 and 4, which methodology to be adopted while studying the unit number 3 and 4 of managerial economics. Hope you will use this methodology, you will use this systematic method, or you can introduce your own method. What is our objective? Our objective is to do justice to all the concepts, to understand thoroughly all the terminologies, so that your examination will be gives you a higher number of marks that shows your understanding level. So, hope you understood all the methodologies which I have told, and with that hopes that you will utilize these methodologies during your studies. We will conclude here our today's context session just by giving direction about unit number 3 and 4 regarding what to study, how to study, and which methodology to be adopted, because all the terminology is theoretical one. One can easily understand by thoroughly reading it. No need to spend much more time, and these important terminologies are very much interesting. Not only important, but also these are the interesting, and you will find such type of situation in your day-to-day life also. For that purpose, which thing I have told, you have to correlate that concept with your real-time situation that you might have experienced. Sometimes a same product you will find having different prices at different location. What is called it as? It is a price discrimination. Such type of correlation you must be able to match for your understanding purpose. Hope you understood my concern, which I want to convey you regarding study pattern and study methodology. Is there any doubts or any queries in this regard? Please ask. That means you don't have any type of queries or any questions regarding this? We will conclude our session here.